I wasn't going to make this video. I felt like it was pretty self-explanatory of what kind of equipment you should have as a base in your kitchen. Whether it's a convenient home cooking kitchen, a hotel kitchen, Airbnb kitchen. If you're new to cooking and you don't know where to start, kind of just wanted a little bit of self-reassurance that you had all the basic necessary things, because sometimes, especially with kitchen equipment, right, it's so easy to just have so much stuff that you don't need. What I'm going to share with you today is just a very basic kitchen setup. I don't think you need a whole pot and pan setup. When choosing what pots to have, which pots to buy, how many to have, you can definitely get overloaded with information and also feel obliged to buy a whole set of sometimes 10 different pots that you will probably only use 2 or 3 at most regularly, and the bigger ones you might whip out occasionally. Or the opposite, right? If you have a bigger family, if you have multiple kids, and you are cooking bigger meals, you may rarely use the smaller ones and only use the bigger ones. So I definitely don't think it's essential to have a million different pots. And as you might have seen in that video, if you have these and a pressure cooker's 2-in-1, you can, with the lid on, it's a pressure cooker, and with the lid off, it's a regular large pot. So with these 2 small ones and the pressure cooker, you got yourself a nice multi-size set. So that's it. I like to have a frying pan for eggs and things like this in the morning. I do also have a bigger frying pan at home. I don't have all my pots with me right now, so this is just a nice easy example. Pots aside, of course you want to get yourself a nice chopping board. Wooden chopping board is ideal. I find them really nice. It's nice to use, like you feel good using it. It's nice to chop into. You're not worried about getting microplastics into your food or anything like this. A lot of people avoid wooden cutting boards because it's like there's that extra step of maintenance. They last a lot longer. So, proper care of your wooden chopping board is just chucking a bit of oil in it after every use. And if you don't want it to warp, when you wash it, make sure you wash both sides, both the side you used and the side you didn't use, just so it's fully submerged in water, and that will avoid any potential warping that the wood might do. So yeah, very simple, not a lot of care. If you want to potentially give it a bit of a sand once a year, if that, just to get rid of all the little cuts in the wood, then you can do that, and then extra oil when you do that. But this is also a very big one. You don't have to get as big a chopping board as this one, but a nice wooden chopping board is what I choose to have. Knife, something to sharpen the knife with, ideally. Doesn't have to be a huge knife, doesn't have to be a small knife. I think just any knife that you feel comfortable in using. Sometimes people can get very particular with their knives, just like, oh, I have a Japanese knife, I have a German knife. But really, any knife, as long as it's sharp and you like using it, it's comfortable for your hand, it's not too big and scary for you to use. So whatever you like, whatever makes you happy using this basic example knife. Tongs, great for picking up things. I much rather tongs over spatulas. When you buy those little like multi-set, I also don't like those, where it comes with like a ladle, a spatula that you never use. When you try to use it, it's hard to use. Like a pasta ladle, which I also think is useless. And then a serving spoon of sorts. Those I never buy them in a bundle. I think a tongs, maybe 2 different sizes, and a nice silicone spatula, really essential thing to have, which I don't have it here because I feel like this and the 5 essentials are what you should have, but this is a very basic setup, because in reality a wooden spoon can do just the job of a fully silicone spatula. It might just not be as good as getting every single last drop out of the pan or bowl, which is why I like to have the silicone one. It makes cleaning a lot easier. But if you don't have a silicone spoon or you want to invest in both, wooden spoon, really good. Just make sure it doesn't go moldy or anything like this. It fully dries out all the time, which is why I prefer to hand wash them over putting them in the dishwasher, but you can also put them in the dishwasher if you like. And last but not least, as well as a regular knife, having a nice good quality bread knife is essential for me, especially because I buy or make my own sourdough bread. So sourdough bread, you need a good serrated knife to cut with, and If you don't, it makes life very difficult. But if you're not the kind of person who cares for having sourdough bread or a nice crusty loaf of bread at home, then maybe you don't need this. But I think it's nice basic setup. And just to emphasize that you don't need a whole knife block, you just need these two and a little paring knife and you're good to go. So that's it. That's all the basics for your kitchen. Hope it just helps a little bit, gives a bit of reassurance to make sure that you have all of the basic needs. Or if you are looking to downsize a bit and get rid of a few things, bring a bit of minimalism into your kitchen, then at least you know what are the basic things you definitely can't get rid of. If you're interested in watching the other ones of my top 5 convenient equipment to have in the kitchen, then you can click here. And if you have any suggestions of what you can't live without in the kitchen, comment them down below and I might add it to my list of musts as well. You're watching Food for Days.